Hello all. I've acquired an Alchemist beer I've never had before. It's their Ouroboros, 8% alcohol. So this one is basically their orange peel double IPA that they do, and I guess it was brewed with Mosaic, but then dry hopped with Centennial, which is kind of an interesting combo. And I don't know exactly when it was canned because they do no dates at Alchemist, thanks a lot. But it was bought last weekend, so I'm guessing it's 2 to 3 weeks old. And I put it in my freezer for a few minutes because it was room temp, and it's super cold now, so hopefully it's not frozen or anything. And it's been quite a while since I've had any Alchemist products, so I'm excited to give this a shot. Not frozen, but very cold. Always beautiful head and head retention from the Alchemist. And I poured it obviously a little hard. Almost overflowing. Actually, a few leaks, but that is really impressive looking. And I just watched John Kimmich, the Alchemist guy's video on YouTube about this, because they brewed it for the first time in a long time in 2017, and he said it was very clear, but as you can see, this is rather hazy. A lot of little tiny particulates. That's sort of the style of the Alchemist. They don't do really hazy stuff. Some of the Skadoosh's, their rotating IPA series, have been very hazy, but it usually looks kind of like this. This is basically what Heady Topper looks like, I would say. Maybe this is a tad bit hazier. And that head is just not quitting, and I'm getting a good whiff of this. I don't know if I've had a Mosaic Centennial beer from the Alchemist. Of course, focal bang of their IPA is Citra Mosaic. So it'll be really interesting to see how they do this sort of thing. Yeah, the orange peel really is blending into the hop aroma, but it does have that classic Alchemist, like slightly estery yeast. It's got a little bit of dank Centennial, but there is some nice peachy Mosaic hidden in there. With their, what is that? There's a certain, like, yeah, Tootsie Roll. It's this weird, like, candy flavor. Like, synthetic candy flavor comes from their yeast. And my friend described as Tootsie Roll, and now I almost always get that from their beers. Hopefully it won't ruin it for you. It's almost slightly ruined my taste for the Alchemist. But you can see, head is great, retention. In the video, John Kimmich, the Alchemist guy, also got foam on his nose. Ooh, very cold. But, I don't know, not too far off from a Heady Topper type thing. It's not as dank and harsh as Crusher. I'm not a huge fan of Crusher, but it's pretty fruity. Maybe it's a little bit more bitter than Heady Topper. Pretty nice mouthfeel. It might not quite be as silky as Heady Topper, but I got a can of that, so I'll be able to compare them. And you can see just awesome head retention. It's getting foamy and rocky and keeping all these bubbles, just looking beautiful. But it's nice how it's really big on orange, citrus, and peach, in addition to, you know, some pine. It's definitely got that pine and that Alchemist spice. They definitely have some kettle hops in here that are adding that deep resinous quality that you always have in Alchemist beers. Yeah, the aroma might be what I like the most. It's pretty bitter. Yeah, this is a little bit more bitter than Heady Topper. Has a little bit more of a old-fashioned West Coast thing going on, except that it's very light on the malts. Not getting a lot of malty notes, just a little bit of sweetness. But you might almost not even notice the orange peel from it, because it just blends into the Mosaic and Centennial hops, which then themselves are pretty orangey. I kind of like that because I've had a lot of fruit IPAs, specifically ones that use like fruit peel and zest, where it's like, whoa, just smells so much like this one fruit peel or zest, and then you taste it and it has that, but then the hops are kind of separate and doesn't synergize like this one does. Yeah, it's like an orange crush, not quite Sprite aroma. It's not quite limey, but a really, really citrusy quality. Yeah. Yeah, that's really nice. But then the flavor, I'm getting some Honey Nut Cheerios malt now. The flavor is more of your old-fashioned, really good double IPA. But I wish I could just sniff this one all day. And the Centennial's not too grassy or too dank. It's not bringing in like menthol-y qualities. Sometimes I get that from hops, especially your more intense ones. It's staying more on a sort of clean, grapefruity pine quality. But the orange and the Mosaic do pull it towards sweeter citrus and more tropical stuff. But I guess not, mostly stone fruit. It's not really pineapple-y. Well, hopefully I'm not missing too much because of the very cold temperature of this. It got pretty close to freezing, I think. But I'm enjoying it. I would recommend this. Now I'm getting a little bit used to the bitterness and the spiciness, and I'm really enjoying this beer. I give it a 4+, maybe even a 4.25, because it's easy enough and it's more like Heady Topper. I realize that's become probably my favorite beer from them.